What's going on, guys? Alex from 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Kaviso exclusive Ray Laconico designed Keen Mini. Now, this is a knife that was sent to me from Kaviso, so I reached out to them, sent them an email, and asked if they would mind loaning one out to me because I had kind of had my eye on this specific model for a little while. And Matthew Harris, I believe his name is, got back to me and said that he had, recognized my name from previous pass around group, reviews and stuff like that. And he was generous enough to send me not one, but two Keen Minis. And his only request was, after I review them, I send them around to both pass around groups that I'm in. So that being the Lefty pass around group and the Apex pass around group. Now, if you guys remember the unboxing I did of this video, or this knife, I got this one in, which is the black aluminum with stonewash, and I also got the green aluminum with stonewash. I sent the green aluminum off to the Lefty Passer group, and then once I review this, I'm going to talk to David over at Blade Manor and get this one set up, and then sent off into the Apex group for them to check it out and to review it. And I think I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to give away the green one. So we'll see where that ends up at. But yeah, the Keen Mini, designed by the man himself, Ray Laconico. I mean, if you guys just look at this knife, you can tell it's just a classic Laconico design, simple, clean lines, nice draw point, simple handle. Yeah, but if you guys have not heard of Kaviso before, I will leave a link to their website down below, specifically to the Keen Mini listing. But they are a website that sells, camping gear, EDC gear, sort of tech gear, and then they also do knives. And they have quite a bit of exclusive knives. This being one, they have this version, which is the Keen Mini. They have a premium version of the Keen Mini. They have a larger version, so just the Keen. They have some exclusive QSP Penguins. They have a some exclusive Sharp by Design Mini Tempest that they just launched not too long ago. And their most recent collaboration is a Kirby Rain design that looks like it's sold out everywhere, but it did pretty popular. But yeah, you guys can, maneuver the site with the link down below if you guys want to check out what else is on, or what else Kaviso has to offer. But again, this review is on the Keen. I always want to say Mini Keen, but it's the Keen Mini. So there's technically six different variations you can get. There's two different blade wash or blade finishes and three different colors, so six different combinations. There is green, black, and a blue, and then there is a stone washed and a satin in the mini configuration. But so jumping right into this, rocking some 14C 28N on the blade. It says it tucked up against the blade there. My phone always struggles to pick it up, but you guys can maybe see it a little bit right there, right up in that corner. Yeah, nice simple drop point, thin edge. I'd say medium blade stock, of course, Ray Laconico right there. Milled titanium pot clip that is not deep carry, but it carries very well. And honestly, having about that much up out of your pocket doesn't bother me because it is a typical style of clip that Ray uses on his knives. Inset liner lock, nice lock bar access, some jimping right there. No internal milling. You have a backspacer, and this pot clip is righty only. Of course, you have a flipper tab right there. Yeah, it's a pretty basic no frills knife, and I think you guys know me. I like simple, utilitarian, just very clean designs, no frills type of knives, and this is, I think, what drew me to this. So some specs on it, if I can find it here. So blade length on the Keen Mini is 2.88 inches, handle length of 3.83 inches, coming in an overall length from tip to butt of 6.71 inches, and it weighs 2.85 ounces. Now, in comparison to the full-size Keen, the full-size Keen is a 3.4 inch blade, so going from a 2.88, or basically a 2.9 inch blade up to a 3.5 inch blade. It weighs 4.4 ounces. So you're, almost getting 2 more ounces on there. So it's a nice EDC size knife. QSP is the manufacturer on these. I was not aware of that until I just checked the specs on here. But the fit and finish on this is, as I drop the damn knife, That's one thing I'll talk about later on in the Ergos video. Is this aluminum is a little bit slippery. As you guys can see, I just dropped it. But luckily, no damage to it. So we'll try not to do that again, guys. But yeah, that's about it for materials. So starting right off with the first category of my review process, 5 out of 5. Again, like I say in every single video, you have to have some pretty shitty materials on your knife to not get a 5 out of 5 in the materials department, according to me. But aluminum, 14C on the blade, nice flipper tab, nice pocket clip. For the price point, 5 out of 5. Now aesthetic. I really like this design. I'm not going to go out and say that it's my favorite design. It's probably not even my favorite design by Ray himself. But again, Ray's designs are all, they all kind of blend together a little bit. Each of his designs has just a little bit something distinct about it, but you can tell pretty much right away that it is a Ray Laconico design. So I just love the way the handle kind of has a little bit of a curve to it. I love that just nice, kind of a spear point slash drop point, a little bit of both in my, honest opinion. Nice thin edge. From an aesthetic standpoint, I think it looks really good. Pocket clip looks nice. I really have no complaints about it. Again, it's not my favorite, but I can't think of a reason why it's not deserving to be of a 5. Again, just clean lines, simple, no frills. It's going to get a 5. Again, just can't really think of anything that's, deducting from it to drop it down to a 4, 4.5, things like that. But next up is action. And of course you have a flipper tab right here, kind of a pointy little flipper tab with a little bit of jimping. Honestly, the jimping could be a little bit more aggressive because it is a little bit easy kind of just to slip off there. But the more you use a knife, the more you get used to it, the more it really doesn't affect you that much. But yeah, so flies right out. You guys can do either the push button, which again, like you guys probably already know, is my preferred method of deployment, but flipper tab just works really well. And then you can do the light switch where you kind of get your finger in front of it and draw backwards. But a really nice snappy detent. It's hard to tell on camera when I do that type of stuff, but I'll try to, get it to fail. You can, but you really have to be like super duper careful. And as long as you're just doing like that, it's going to pop right out. And if most people are just going to pull this out of your pocket, put some pressure on the flipper tab, and it's going to bang right out. And kind of a little hidden feature is, you guys can see there is some blade sticking out there. Well, it is a little bit, you miss every once in a while, but you can take your middle finger and reverse flick it. You just kind of get enough meat on your middle finger right there, and it pops right out. So that's kind of a little hidden feature. It's always nice when knives that only have, a flipper tab, you're able to do that with the blade. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, you will miss it a few times, just depending on, it is a little bit better if you get your middle finger like farther down on the knife. So if you're doing it up here, you're probably going to miss because you have a stronger, detent to fight through. But if you get it down even farther, it flies right out of there. Then of course the drop, no blade play. I did have to take this apart and clean it up because when I got this from the factory, that's the reason why I sent the green one out, because I knew that this one had a gritty action, had a lot of oil in it, and I didn't have time to disassemble it and clean it up before I sent it out. So that is why I sent the green one out, because it was pretty much money from the factory. But this one had, like, when I would do this before I cleaned it out, it was super like gritty, and it was, not really smooth. It was catching on things. But now you guys can see, drops right to your thumb, one shake and you're down, drops to your thumb, some micro shakes. You don't have enough room to get your thumb out of there for it to drop the whole way home, but very, very smooth. Nice drop shut, snappy action, especially for a little knife. That's nice to see. So as far as flipper actions go, I tend to not gravitate towards knives that are flipper only, but of course, like I said, you can try to do this lefty. Yeah, it's hard for me because with the clip, it's easy to hang on to it back here. But it's nice when, flipper only knives have sort of that hidden deployment method. But as far as flipper only knives go, snappy detent, great deployment. good action, good drop shot, 5 out of 5. Next up is acoustics. You get that nice thwack. That's really about it. You know, it's not very high pitched. Just sounds kind of monotonous. And then when you drop it, I mean, you can hear it, but it's just not really that loud. So acoustics aren't really doing it for me there. I mean, this is nice. Of course, I'm going to love a good thwack. But that's about all it does for me. So the acoustics is going to get a 3.5. It's just not doing anything for me. Just sounds like a typical knife, you know what I mean? Doesn't really have any high-pitched tings, and, you know, the aluminum kind of kills the material, or the sound reverberating through it. So 3.5 I think is fair. You could go 4 maybe if you really are a fan and don't care about, you know, the high-pitched stuff, but I think a 3.5 is very fair. Next up is ergos. Now, while this is a smaller knife, so handle length is only 3.83 inches, but I can still get all 4 fingers on there very comfortably. I might be a little bit squished, but, you know, I have plenty of room on there not to be uncomfortable. You know, it's a small knife, guys, but all 4 fingers on there. You can use this little area up here as a choil if you're, you know, doing something very, very, you know, slow and careful, if you're cutting through things carefully, because you are very close to that blade edge and you don't want to slip onto it. But definitely can do that if you put your hand up here or your thumb up here for control through push cuts. That might be a good option because you get full grip on that blade and you have maximum leverage to push through maybe cardboard or other things you're cutting up. But primarily back here is nice. You can put your thumb kind of right here, or you can send out here if you need to do, again, those push cuts. Reverse hammer grip is nice. Hammer grip, saber grip. You can do the reverse, but not a knife that I'd probably be using this for. But again, I guess if you have a knife on you and you have to defend yourself, it's better than nothing. The pot clip is a milled clip, and it sits pretty flush to the scales, and it's nicely rounded and contoured on all the edges. There's no really sharp edges, so it kind of just molds into your hand a little bit. Not really much of a hot spot at all. I mean, again, and this pretty much goes with every single knife, but if you just squeeze this super duper hard, yeah, I mean, you're gonna feel it, but again, just an average, you know, EDC user isn't gonna feel it enough to really have an issue with it. It's only righty carry, so you don't have to worry about that. If, you know, you're a lefty, it's gonna be on their opposite side. Now, one bad thing about this, as much as I love aluminum scales and I'm as good as it feels in hand, these are quite slippery because, as you guys saw earlier in the video, I did drop it. Now, the more you fidget with it, the more you use it, the more it kind of gets warmed up to your hands. But it's really slippery when it's cold, you know, and hasn't been really, if it's been riding in your pocket for a while or if it's been sitting out. Like my apartment that I live in right now has, you know, we're an apartment complex, so it's not really like the heat doesn't circulate the best. So there's like parts of our apartment that doesn't get the heat the best. And this one corner of our bedroom, where I have this on top of my dresser, it kind of stays, you know, it's not really the warmest. So my knife case tends to be a little bit chilly, and that's why it was a little bit slippery, and it still is a little bit slippery. So I'm going to have to knock it a little bit from that. It's just, you know, as much as I like aluminum and it feels comfortable, it's a little bit of a hindrance and a little bit of a nuisance. You know, that's slippery. It would have been nice to have a little bit of a texturing on there of some sort, but I can't knock it too much because it is very comfortable, but it does give you those risks of dropping it. So I'm going to give it a 4. I could give it a 4.5, but, you know, I have dropped this a few more times. Luckily, it hasn't been on concrete or anything hard. It's been on carpet or, you know, in this case, I guess a glass desk, but didn't really cause any issues. So I think a 4 is fair for the ergos. Now carry, small knife, again, sub 4 inches on the, you know, handles. So this pretty much, I mean, almost disappears into my fist. It carries very well. Would I've liked to seen a loop over style deep carry clip on this? Absolutely. Would I've liked to seen maybe only one screw be used so you get a little bit more, you know, blade sitting in the pocket? Yes, but this clip works so well. It has just about enough, stiffness on it to work. It's not too stiff, but it's not like going to slide out of your pocket, but sits down in your pocket, small, tucks into the side. You do have a flipper tab down here, but again, that jimping is not aggressive at all. So you're primarily just going to, if you're down and getting something and pull your hand up in your pocket, you're just going to bounce off of this. I cannot see any world or any reason why your finger's going to catch on this. This is probably some of the least aggressive jimping I've handled. One knock, I guess, could be not reversible. You easily could have thrown another screw on there and had a reversible area for your clip. So I guess I can knock it a little bit for that. But it's lightweight, good size, carries well. I'm going to give it a 4.5 just due to the fact you easily could have just thrown more screws on there and had a lefty clip option for those that wanted to carry it lefty. But 4.5 on the carry. Now, next up is price point / value and what I recommend this knife. So the price point on the Kaviso / Laconico Keen Mini is coming in at $59. I think that is a fantastic price for this. Again, you're getting QSP made, so the quality's there. QSP has really thrived in the budget market for a little while now, and they just make really good products. But aluminum, milled titanium clip, 14C28N, great flipper action. You can flick it out with your middle finger. Great ergos. You just gotta be careful of that, aluminum. But for everything, for $59, I don't think you can beat it. I really don't think you can beat it at all. Now, if you are wanting to go up to the titanium, and I believe S35EN version, I think they're like 125, 130, something like that. But just speaking about this one, I think it's a good value. I think, anything, I could see this going up to $100 even. I think anything under $100 for this is considered good value. So the fact that this is $59, for like I said, 14C28N aluminum, great flipper action, great detent, great ergos. I really have no complaints. My biggest complaints is that the clip could be reversible and the aluminum is just a little bit, slippery. And I guess the acoustics is not the best, but that's a very opinionated, topic. So price and value all put together, that's going to get a 5. Really, again, no complaints at all for the materials you're getting for the price point. And if you guys like this design, go pick one of them up. If you like this one, odds are you're going to like pretty much everything Ray makes. That's kind of been my case of everything that I've handled from him. Again, just clean, simple, utilitarian, simplistic designs. That's Ray Laconico for you. But let me add this up real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty, guys, so I have the Kaviso / Laconico collaboration Keen Mini coming in at a 32, which lands it in the great category. It's actually the highest knife I have in the great category right now. It's the 5th one in there. So it's above the Vosti Mini Nightshade, the CMB TNB, the ATK Halt, and the Kaiser Sub 3 OBK. I think 32 is very fair. There's just a couple small nitpicks. They're going to drop the points down. But I think this is a great knife, and I think that's where, it ended up. So, yeah. But, yeah, let me know down below. Did you guys pick up one of these? Have you had your eyes on them like me? Do you have the premium version? Do you have the, the full-size premium version? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But I'm going to wrap this up now. So this was my full review on the Kaviso / Laconico Keen Mini. I know it's a little bit of a mouthful, but great little EDC knife. Huge shout out to Kaviso and Matthew Harris for contacting me, working with me, and sending these out to review. Really do appreciate it, and it's a fantastic little knife you guys have. So, but again, I'm going to wrap this up now. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening, day. Goodness gracious. I think my wife that scared the living daylights out of me. Sometimes I think my wife just went out of the apartment to do laundry, and sometimes when the door is closing, the wind will like suck it shut, and you can hear like everything in these apartments. So I apologize. That scared me a little bit. But hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.